We on? Is it on?
Yes.
Welcome to Let's Talk About Ice, guys. Thank you very much for stopping by. Episode 7, I believe. We are here to educate all of you about the dangers of methamphetamine and give some insight into addiction and the nature of this drug. We have Danny here. Danny's come down from Chinchilla today, which is 5 hours up north of the Gold Coast. So thanks for coming, Danny. We're going to talk to Danny soon about his experience with methamphetamine. First of all though, guys, I feel really impressed to talk about pingers, aka ecstasy and or bickies, pills. Okay? All good?
Turn the camera around. Okay, yep.
It's all about me.
Sorry.
It's all about me. Trying to steal our limelight, mate, eh? Guys, I really feel impressed to talk about pingers. If you don't know what pingers are, it's ecstasy, pills, bickies, whatever you want to call them. I've been made aware this week of how socially acceptable it is for our younger generation to take pills. I've been made aware that 14, 15, 16-year-olds are taking them every weekend. I just want to put a clear warning out to the community about these drugs. If you don't know, a lot of these drugs are being cut with crystal methamphetamine. So I don't condone taking pills. There's nothing great in them for you anyway. However, people need to be aware that these drugs are being cut with crystal methamphetamine these days. So unfortunately, our younger generation may be going to a disco or whatever, taking these pills, and unbeknownst to them, they're forming a crystal meth addiction, which is pretty scary and pretty sad. So be aware, guys. There's nothing recreational about taking meth, let alone pills with meth in it. So just be very, very aware of that. Also, guys, exciting news. We have AAIC officially launching in Melbourne. I believe the official launch is on the 19th of next month. An amazing venue at the Docklands, I think, in Melbourne. If you would like to know more about that, I think tickets are $85. All the details are on our website. Be great to see you down there, guys. It's all to launch AIC in Melbourne, get the educational programs happening down there. Wonderful job, Cezanne. It looks great what you've done on Facebook. If you're interested, guys, be sure to jump on FB and connect with Cezanne. She's got all the details. Okay, so we're good to go. Meth Effects. Oh, the Meth Effects shirt. So Meth Effects, if you didn't know, that was a full-length documentary that we were filming some time ago, and it got put on the back burner because I got tied up in doing education, getting into the educational side of things. However, there's been a little whisper of Meth Effects coming back, making a bit of a resurgence. So stay tuned for that. We do have a lot of great footage already, and we'll be talking to people very soon about maybe getting this back into production. So stay tuned with that. The shirts are all coming too, guys. The shirts you've seen over the last few weeks. There's lots of cool stuff happening. So, Danny, we'll get to Danny now. Is there anything else, guys? No, all good. Righty. So, Danny, mate, thanks for coming.
All good, mate.
How long were you in ice addiction?
A year and a half this time. I had a short stint on it a couple of years before that, but didn't have a lot of ice, and sort of got over that really quickly. This time it was like every day for a year and a half.
Sure.
Yeah.
Mate, was ice the first drug you took?
No, I smoked marijuana for years. And I was a binge drinker when I was younger.
Yeah.
Which I don't drink now, but marijuana and a couple of trips and that, but yeah, just mainly marijuana, then the speed, the old speed.
Yeah.
And
Just
then,
up a little bit,
so,
maybe
yeah,
volume.
just the old speed and that, and then the ice came in a few years ago and had a bit of it, wasn't sure what it was, and this time, yeah, I was addicted to it. I know what it is now.
That's something that I really want to talk to. I think it's important to let people know about the difference between what they call old school speed. You might know it as dead ants or goey. Tell the people out there the difference of your experience between this speed and ice.
Like the old speed, like you would have it and you'd stay awake for 4 or 5 days. You'd talk non-stop, like you'd smoke. It was just a full-on fast thing. And then when I got to the ice, when I had it, I didn't think it was working because it was more of a you just go like a psychosis. You just think and you're just in your mind all the time. It wasn't the racing around trying to do things 100 mile an hour. It was just like, and at first I didn't think it worked until I found out what it was all about, and it's just a different drug altogether. I could get off the old speed, in a couple of days. I'd have a feed and a couple of nights sleep, and I'd be right.
Yeah.
But the ice was different. I couldn't.
Yeah.
You couldn't do that this time. It was just,
It's a different kettle of fish. Like
Yeah.
in my experience talking to people and that, I think I've shared on the video, I'm not sure before, but I've known a lot of people out there. I'm not saying go and take speed, by no means. I know a lot of people though that have used speed for 10 years and managed to still hold down a job and live some sort of life.
Yeah.
And they get on the ice and they lose everything. So it's really a different kettle of fish, this drug, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
Mate, who introduced you to ice initially? Like, how did that happen?
I think this bloke used to deal with the speed to me,
Yeah.
and then I just thought I was buying speed, and it was coming in this rock form, and I just thought, well, just the way it is, sort of I just used it like that, and I didn't realise it had changed.
Yeah.
It looked a bit different. It used to have crystallised sort of speed, but this, I just thought it was speed, but it was actually ice itself. And
Yeah.
so I just started using that, thinking it was the old speed, but
Yeah.
noticed it was different. But yeah, by the time I'd done that, I was hooked on it.
Yeah, not knowing really what journey you're about to go on, I suppose.
Yeah.
It's a lot different.
Yeah.
So, mate, just to go back a little bit, were you in a low spot when you started, using again? Like, how did it happen? Did you said you used a few years before a little bit.
Yeah.
Did you clean your life up after that? What's the story?
I did have a short stint on what was the ice then. I didn't know.
Yep.
And I straightened out for about 3 years, and I built my car detailing business up. I do weed seed inspections for gas companies.
Yep.
I went to church, part of the worship team, started writing songs that were in the worship service and that, and
Yep.
just committed to church and my work and got a good name back again.
Yeah.
And just had an upset in church sort of thing, doesn't matter what happened there, and just broke fellowship with church.
Yeah.
And just did my own thing for a few weeks, just done my work and that, and after a while a couple of ladies walked into my business who were on ice. I didn't know, or you could tell they were on something. They were very attractive and hung around, and I just said, at the end of the day, I just said, come back this afternoon, I'll get some off you. So although I didn't have that family thing around me anymore,
Yeah.
I was just sort of, looking for people to talk to and hang out and
Yeah.
hang around with, and that's sort of, I just got some ice that night and got it again and had to have it again and again.
What happened? To speak about that, I'd love the people to know how
Yeah.
addictive it is. How quickly did you go from, that time there where you picked up to using every day? Like, how quick was
I
that?
was like, once I had it the first time and had a decent amount in one, I was back the next day and the next day, and then I was getting twice as much, and I had to have it. And if I had missed a day or two, I felt that sick, and I had to have it to be normal after a while.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was just like, bang, I just had to have it all the time.
Can you go a little bit further? Because, once again, for the people out there, I really would like them to know, what's that feeling like when you said you need it? Like, what's that feeling? How much do you need it? Would you, what would you do to get it if you had to, Like, what's that feeling?
I think so I had a bit of money because I was working, so I actually funded my drug habit through my work, but if I didn't have work, you would steal, you'd do nearly anything for it, I believe. Like,
Yeah.
if you have it for a week and then have 1 day or 2 days off, it's that strong, and the withdrawals, and it's just horrible. You'd probably do anything to get it. It's just a powerful thing. Like, yeah.
What's the So you said you had your business and that happening.
Yeah.
Did you notice an effect on your business when you started?
Yeah.
Can you tell us about that?
I do weed seed inspections, just inspecting utes that are going to farmers' properties. You got to make sure there's no weeds and mud underneath them.
Yeah.
And I'd write out a form and give it to them, and I get paid for that. And I'd have like mine bosses come into my house, into my office, to get the form and that, and I'd be like that, I'd be shaking and I could hardly talk. And
Did they notice? They start picking up on
obviously
it?
after a while, and then they'd look at you funny, and I'd have people over and they'd be in the room next door, and I'd say, don't smoke dope while the boss is here.
Yeah.
As soon as he walked in, they would light a bong up, and so
that's
the sort of people I had round, they're just trying to wreck my business. And so yeah, just they noticed, and then I detail cars, and customers would come back to pick their car up, and I'd have 2 drug people sitting in the shed, and so I just started losing work, obviously, and bad talk around town. It's only a small town.
Yeah, sure.
So people started, word got around, and yeah, just my bad name came back, and everything got built up, come crashing down, sort of thing, to no one had come to me to get the car done, sort of thing. At the end, I had a car, a $60,000 car in my shed, and I was detailing it overnight for the lady next day.
Yep.
And a local dealer was coming to my house several times that day, wanting to use that vehicle to drive to Ipswich to score a big load of it. And I said no several times, and they came back about 1 in the morning with a group of them with baseball bats and stuff, and started banging around the roofs of my house and the walls, and screaming out stuff, and I just rang Triple O and hid behind a cupboard.
Yeah.
You know, the old house, the front door didn't even lock. They could have just pushed it open. And it scared me that much. Anyway, the police finally came, and we drove out to the farm where I live today. But that was enough for me.
Yeah, that was it.
I've never felt that scared. And there's a reality to it. At times there's a paranoia, but when there's, there's bad people, I was a mess. I drove out to the farm and got away from everyone, hid out, and so I've been clean 2.5 years now.
That's awesome. Congratulations on that, mate. It's only 2% of people get clean, so it takes courage to get clean. So well done on that, mate. I mean that.
Yeah.
So, mate, can you tell us how did being an ice addict change your behaviour?
In my mind, I felt like a different person. Like I was confident, just the way my life was going before I got on it, and I felt confident and just free, because I've been drug free for a few years, and by the end of it, I felt like a shell, and there was nothing in there, and just like, and people weren't coming to help me, sort of thing. Like, sorry for myself, but I was writing on Facebook, I can't get off this stuff, and
really. So there wasn't any support or services. Were you looking for help during that time?
As much as I could.
Yeah.
But like friends from the past and from church didn't seem to turn up.
Yeah.
So I started to believe I was the person I've been told.
Yeah, that's.
And then the way you think of yourself, you felt like a leper. I reckon ice is this day's leprosy.
Yeah.
It's like you feel like you're nothing. You believe what people have said about you, sort of thing, and I just thought I was going to die slowly, an ice addict. I'd give up.
Yeah.
I thought, well, I'm right, I'm screaming out for help, no one's going to help me. I went to hospital, and I spent 1 night in hospital because I couldn't make myself a feed even, and then I got sent home with a couple of Valium tablets, and you can't make quality decisions when you're detoxing like that.
Sure.
So I couldn't really find the help, and I didn't see any friends sort of trying to help me, so I just sort of thought, that's it, I'm going to slowly die, an addict. I am what them people say I am, and it's not true, but I believed it. So
well, you said you couldn't make a feed. Was that?
I couldn't get up and make a sandwich. It was just
because what? Because why, man?
I was just that tired. My body was just caving in. Like I was at 60 kgs. I think I'm 90 now. Like I couldn't look after myself.
Yeah.
So
it just eats the body away from the inside out.
Yeah.
There's things like acetone, hydrochloric acid, lithium, all this stuff's in it. It's going to eat away your organs from the inside. So it's no wonder that we hear this time and time again that people are weak from it and they need it just to function to get up. But eventually you've got to crash. Like something has to happen.
When I started detoxing, I was flat out walking 15 metres across the yard. I'd have to have a break. And I thought, how was I detailing 2 cars a day, like 12 hours work?
Yeah.
I thought, I must have just been running on the ice.
Yeah.
Because I've had a few days off it, now I can't walk.
Yeah.
So that was probably all I was running on.
Yeah, just running on that continuously, and there's nothing else in your system, and then all of a sudden you crash.
A packet of lollies and a coffee for dinner every night.
Doesn't not the most nutritious diet in the world. Yeah. Mate, thanks for sharing that. What I've got to say is, Danny was obviously reaching out for help, doing it alone there for a while. So all the more reason that just makes me, want to share with you guys again that you're not alone if you're in addiction. Don't be scared to reach out. Yeah. There are good people out there, guys, that are willing to help. And the Australian Anti-Ice Campaign, a wonderful support group, and we provide all the services needed for people not only struggling in addiction, but family members as well. Those people that are looking to move into recovery. Once again, the family support number is 0481 844 555. And also, guys, this is why I continue to share or ask you guys to share the posts and share the pages, because you never know who in your network is going to need the services that we provide here. So things could have been different when you were reaching out. If these posts could have been out there. I genuinely know that this drug doesn't need to be an issue in this nation. It just is going to take a concerted effort from all of us to come together and focus our attention on education and awareness. That's what we need to do. We've got enough people out there, guys, speaking about the issue. Speaking about it isn't working. We need to do something about it. So you can help, guys, by sharing the pages, becoming a volunteer, all the stuff we've shared a million times. Thank you very much for stopping by and tuning in, guys. So let's talk, mate. How did it affect... What I really want to know is, how did it affect other people you're using? Family? Friends? Talk about that.
My family's not close. Got a few in town, in Chinchilla. Me and my mum always we got along, but we didn't. But I'd drop in most days to see her, and I'd be off drugs and earning money, and I'd go and visit her. Then I'd be in the next season, I'd be there, and for her to hear the stories, I'd tell her what was happening to me when I was on the ice. Like, I really regret it, but she was there for me, and I'd just go around and say what was happening and
share with her.
Yeah, and was it 9 months after I got clean, Mum passed away. And it was a good feeling to know that she knew I was off it and safe where I lived and that sort of thing. But it would have been so hard on her, like, to hear. So some horrible stories you can tell, and they're all real.
Yeah. And
you needed someone to talk to.
Well, that's the thing. You need someone to talk to.
It was poor old Mum,
Mum got it.
Yes, and I regret it now, but it is what it is. But yeah, and sort of haven't got any real close family apart from that.
Mate, you said there were some horrible stories. Can you share with us some of the, or maybe even the lowest point, or some of those darker times?
Yeah.
It's for the people out there. We really want people to know out there that this drug isn't a recreational thing at all. There's nothing recreational about it. Everything in it is toxic.
Yeah.
Share with some of those stories.
I used to go and get my drugs from a little place out of Chinchilla. I can't say where and that, but I got the right amount. I didn't get ripped off, so I had like a one dealer. But he called me his guinea pig. So if he had a new batch in, he'd ring me up, and I used to inject it and see how strong it was and whatever, what he wanted to do with it afterwards. I went out to his little shed one night, and he said, I made this stuff up. And he gave it to me, and I got the syringe, and as I just touched the tip on my arm, I screamed. It burnt that much. I screamed like a little girl. It just burnt that much. And I thought, what have I become from like a person who had a good name in town and doing the church, the work and that, to I'm this guy's guinea pig sitting in a dirty old shed. and I don't know if he was giving me battery acid or... And I started crying. I said, you know, what are you doing to me? So look, I'll just water it down a bit for you. And I said, no man, I just started crying. I said, this is the lowest. And then when I was leaving, he wouldn't even give me the proper ice that I went there to get. And it just wrecked me. I said, and it was sort of like, I'm bigger than this.
Yeah, yeah.
And I don't need to be treated like this. But to be someone's guinea pig, that's what he sort of named me.
Just being used, eh?
Yeah.
Being used.
If I'd put that in my vein, it would have killed me.
How lucky, we shared before, how lucky that it did drip on your skin.
Yeah.
Because if you had just put it straight in, you wouldn't be here.
I would have died.
Was that close to the time where the boys were there with the baseball bats and that?
It was
that all
getting
sort
near the end of when I was getting about to get off the stuff. It was all escalating.
Yeah.
And yeah, that happened. And it wasn't long after the bloke was demanding the car to go get the drugs, and I wouldn't do it. And that was pretty well. I had enough.
Yeah.
And I had a chance, and the police escorted me out to the farm where I live now. And the next morning, I burned all the drugs in front of the family, and I thought I just had enough. And with Mum's passing, I thought I don't need this crap anymore. Like,
Yeah.
it's time to grow up. But yeah, sort of that, the lowest times. Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
I hear a lot that the addict to get clean just needs to get over it. Something you really have to arrive at a point where you are just over it. It sounds like,
Yeah.
you know, that's
yeah.
where you're at with that.
I've got a young couple in town I tried to help. And,
Yeah.
And yeah, it's like you can talk and talk and talk and buy them a feed, do everything, and I spend 4 hours and then just go and score as soon as you drive away.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so you know, it's time to, it's really hard to, I think you'll know someone who's really fair dinkum who wants to get off it, that they'll do anything they can.
Yeah.
Yeah, not
Yeah.
just sort of, you know,
Yes.
one handouts and that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just keep the money and buy more ice sort of thing. It's hard to discern, but
Sure.
I think if you're really serious, you'll be able to tell someone who...
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
true. And it, like, because time and time again I've met people that just talk about, I want to get clean and that, but there's got to be a change within someone when they're, you know, when
Yeah.
they're really dinkum about, you know, they're
Yeah.
over it and they want to move on.
Yeah.
Can you tell us about your recovery? How hard was that? Tell us about the first couple of weeks.
Okay, I moved out to a farm, and no one knew where I was living, and moved out, and they're beautiful people out there. And I lived in a little donga, and they got me on the vegetable juicing, essential oils, things like that.
Yeah.
And I pretty well just had to grit my teeth and withdraw. And for a fortnight I had nightmares every night, and I'd wake up out of a nightmare that was like real, walk around and go have a cigarette, walk around the veranda, come back in, go to sleep and have the same nightmare. And it was happening for every night for a fortnight, and I thought, this is horrible, you know, like. But it was that, and then hot and cold stuff, and not being able to go to sleep, and that went on for probably 3-4 months, just full on. But one of the hardest bits about when I tried to stop, I used to get violently ill in the stomach.
Yeah.
And I started taking activated charcoal, and it just sucks all the toxins out of your belly
Okay.
and get rid of them.
Yeah.
And it was just smart the ways I knew how to get rid of things that
All the toxins.
Yeah,
Get rid of it.
the Valium from the doctor wasn't going to do, sort of thing.
It's not cutting it, people.
Yes, yes.
Just have some Valium. Being a full-blown meth addict for 18
Yeah.
months, you'll be right. Yeah.
Disrupt
They
the
just-
sleep pattern more.
Yeah.
It was like, yeah, no, so it was just a good diet, and knowing people, I had people there to pray for me or talk to me, and
Yeah.
I was like that psychotic sort of thing. Down the road there's a farmhouse with a tennis court.
Yep.
About 10 o'clock one night you could hear them yelling out playing tennis, and I was convinced 100% it was drug dealers down the road yelling out at me.
Wow.
And the lights were the car lights, and I
Yeah.
went over at 7 in the morning and asked them to pray for me. I was terrified. I said, no, it's just them down there playing tennis, Danny. But
Wow.
that was a few months after I'd even stopped. I was
Yeah.
having experiences like that.
Yeah, the psychosis can continue even up to years after. That's one thing we share in our educational programs, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, it can continue.
Yeah. Yeah, I was watching the dual diagnosis, what's his name?
George.
I was watching his episode on you, and I got stuff out of it. I'm waiting to do that course because I think I could help out it myself.
Yeah, he's wonderful, man. He knows so much about the stuff, and it's a great course. If
Yeah.
you're interested in learning more about helping people in recovery, guys, check out the dual diagnosis course, which you can access through AustralianAntiIceCampaign.org.au. Just click the link to dual diagnosis. George Patricky, he's the guy that runs it. It's a wonderful course. Will give you insight into the cycles of addiction, the nature of this drug. It's an awesome course.
Yeah.
Can you talk to us more about the psychosis? You shared just then, during your those first few months, there was still psychosis. What about when you were using? How full on was that?
Oh, at times the thing is, some of it can be real. If there's bad people out there who you think you might have done or don't like you, and I'd sit there and you'd hear the voices outside my room, and you'd be totally convinced they're out there. And then I used to sit there with a knife and sharpen it on a stone, hoping they could hear it all night. Like it's just ridiculous.
Yeah.
And the thing is, sometimes they could be there.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you're not quite sure, and that's what you spend your night thinking about.
Yeah.
Sure, I talk, sure, I make a noise, the people outside the room will hear me, and sharpen the knife to scare them away. It was just go for hours, that's what he thought about.
Yeah.
And it was just, why take the drug if that's all you can do.
We hear that time and again, like stories like this about sharpening a knife and people being in psychosis. Why do people keep taking the drug? Yet we do. We continue to take it. We're addicted, not thinking clearly, even though all of this paranoia and psychosis is a direct consequences of us using the drug. We continue to use it.
Yeah.
Such is the power of this drug and the grip that it has on us. Got a couple of questions, Danny? Just 2 seconds.
Yeah.
The medication. Kylie. That's a hard one to discuss because some people, like Danny shared, doctors will prescribe Valium and that, and it's not like heroin where they'll prescribe you'll go on a methadone project. Crystal methamphetamine is a little bit different. So most people, a lot of people do take some Valium to just help in the first few months. But at the end of the day, you need to grit and bear to get through this substance. There is no real medication that I'm aware of, guys. If someone out there knows different, please post. So there's no real medication that will help you get off this drug. You've got to grit and bear it and go through it. And the Valium can help some of the withdrawals and that calm you down a little bit. But and you were sharing, a healthy diet. Like for me, that was huge. Cleaning up my diet. Exercising, exercising releases natural endorphins.
Yeah.
At the same time, it takes 18 months for the brain to start repairing and to start feeling pleasure from these things. Yeah. But it's still doing you good, You're getting out there and starting to exercise, healthy diet. You were doing a juicing thing, as you want to share about that?
I just got given a juicer and we had a lot of veggies growing out there, so I just throw kale, carrots, whatever it is, and just scull it like a medicine. And I'd do that every morning with the activated charcoal and lemon and water drinks. Yeah. And I cut my sugar out. Yeah. And just done that and just kept doing it. And I had an essential oil I took internally. Yeah. That fixed it up. I'd had hepatitis C and it went without going to the doctor. Okay, nice. So just the whole diet thing with the health and the oils. I had an oil rubbed on my head to calm me down. I didn't need Valium.
What was that oil?
I think one was called Rutabaga and Vetiver and Peace and Calming. There's several of them. Lavender.
Check that out, guys. I've heard a few people talking about the essential oils to help with symptoms and that. And it's like you said, the juicing and the diet with the exercise, we're replenishing our bodies because after using meth, like you said, we're eating lollies and a coffee every day.
Meal for the day.
Plus crystal methamphetamine. So it's a part of the recovery. Although, Kylie, there might not be medication, the exercise, the diet, also company, keeping good company and being around people that are in like mind or on the same path of you. The vital greens is The Vital Greens that you can get is like 150 minerals, vitamins and minerals in it. That's really good if you're in recovery. Krill oil is also awesome. That helps helps the brain, and also the probiotics get all that stuff into you. So that's what we can do. There's no set pharmaceutical medication that's going to help. Some Valium, yeah, to help initially, but it's really your diet, good people, and starting to, and also looking at the issues that got you to using in the first place. Like, that's really the challenge. You have to face the demons that led you to using in the first place if you really want to get through recovery. And I can confidently say that because I experienced relapse myself. The first time I used, I didn't go in and look at the reasons why I was using in the first place, and I relapsed 4 years later. This time I've done it different. I've got right in there and had a look at, why this really happened.
Yeah.
Mate, awesome sharing. Is there anything else? This is going to be seen by 8 trillion people over the next few years, and we're changing the entire globe with this video. So, is there anything you'd like to share with kids out there, people struggling with addiction, or who might be thinking about using the drug? Just down the camera.
I'd just say, don't bother. It's a crap drug. There's nothing in it you need at all. It just, don't bother doing it. As I say, not even once. And if you've done it, not even once again. Don't do it again. If you think you can't get, if you're trapped, can't get out of it, there's the people to connect with here. I couldn't find someone to connect with. Now we've got people you can connect with who've been through the journey and understand, and they can help you. So yeah, but I'd just say, don't even do it. It's not worth. It's just not worth doing. Yeah, just steals every bit of life out of you, and all it is death. Yeah.
Not even once, guys. The high is not worth the low. We are. Oh yeah, of course. Not even once or once. We're still working it out. And I don't know if that's. Is that east side? Is that the right way, or is it this way? You get the message. Not even once, guys. Mate, in one word, down the camera, in one word, describe meth.
Death.
Yeah, we get that a bit, guys. Death.
Just nothing good in it at all.
Is there anything else you want to share, man? Like, what did meth take away from you?
Just what hurt me most is who I am. I didn't know who I was. I felt like an empty shell, and you just don't remember who you were, and all your morals are gone out, everything's just gone, and just the hopelessness of, and your mind you can't control your own mind anymore. You're just doing whatever your mind says, and yeah, it's just like, and I think it's like today's leprosy. I had sores on my arms, people wouldn't talk to me, I looked a mess, I felt like, yeah.
Are there any scars, like permanent scars? Are you changed permanently? Is there any side effects that you're still noticing from it 2.5 years down the track?
I think there are. Other people probably notice them more than I do. Like, I think I'm doing really well, but then
You are doing really well.
But there's times
Absolutely.
It's like, I'll go into like a depression.
Yeah.
And I'll have a really good day and I'll get excited about the AIC and work, and I'll get excited. The next day I'm down here and I can't get out of it. Sort of thing. And it's like, I think it's still recovering from the drug, because you shouldn't be like that so often.
Yeah.
There's nothing to worry about. I've got a nice life, and I wake up stressing some mornings. Like, there's nothing to worry about, but I still am.
Yeah.
And I think that's just the side effect of it still. That,
Sure.
Yeah, and probably a bit of psychosis, that you think people don't like you, and pretty well. They don't. They do.
Yeah.
You just think, but
mate, I go through the same thing. I'm coming up for 3 years clean, and after taking all those, toxins into our body for that long, for an extended period of time, it's going to have an effect.
Yeah.
We're going to we're going to go through things for an extended period of time. So, well done. You are doing well, mate. You're here and you've been through a lot. I appreciate you coming on the show and checking it and sharing with everyone. Is there anything else?
No, that's
No?
about all.
Thank you very much, Danny. Is there anything else here? Sure? No? That's it? Are you sure? Not even once, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you have any questions, post them and we'll get to them during the week. Jim, good to see you online as usual. Great support, mate. Not even once, that's right. If you're struggling, guys, contact us. If you're in Melbourne or you're interested in checking out the official launch in Melbourne, check out the page, contact Sezen. She's got all the details. It's going to be a wonderful night. Awesome venue. Not even once. Again, that's it for this week, guys. Next week, we have another addict, another recovering addict coming on with a full-on story. So, yeah, stay tuned, guys. Thank you very much. Hey?
What's the purpose of this? Why? Why are you bringing another one on?
And we're doing this, I can share it over and over again, for education and awareness. That's what we're all about. We are going to educate the entire nation about this drug. It doesn't need to be an issue. I'll keep saying it till you're sick of me, because it doesn't need to be an issue. Our youngsters are using this drug. They're not educated about it. This drug is at parties and readily available to our kids. Without the education, we're losing so much good potential to this drug. 27 youth a day nationally are picking up the drug and only 2% get clean. So what are we going to do about it, guys? Whatever we're doing now obviously isn't working. So put your hand up, guys, volunteer, ask your principal, tell your principal about what we're doing, the educational program. We can come to your business, educate your workplace about this drug. And, you know, it's all of that, guys. So thank you for tuning in. Share the page, like the page. I'll see you next week.